because you don't want them sour berries. What's up, guys? Waffler here. It's been 2 weeks, and like I said, I was going to show you off my garden and see how we go and how we progress. So without further ado, let's take a peek at what's happened so far. Alright, so we're at the banana pepper. I kind of goofed, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so remember how I said you clip the top? That is a great idea. You're supposed to do it. Where I messed up is, if you watch my first video, I had growth coming out of the sides of the leaves right here. I had a nice little sprout here and a nice little sprout here, right on these edges. I made the mistake, and don't do this, I clipped them because I thought that the leaves were going to grow into the tree branch, and I didn't clip this side, but I clipped this one, and then I realized it wasn't the leaves that grow into the next set of branches. It's actually the growth that comes out of this pit right here. So if you look really hard, you can see that this is a whole new stem. If I would have left this piece growing, I would have had 2 stems growing up, with like maximizing my instead of having 1 stem coming up, I'd have 2 stems coming up. So I kind of goofed up, but you know, it's all a test. It's all just trying it out. So learn from my mistake. That's why I'm doing it. If you cut the top right here, it's a perfect idea as long as you're at the 2 base leaves. Just do not cut what comes out of the corners here, because that will make just life a lot harder. And as you can see, this thing is, this old butthole is getting in my way. But as you can see, it's coming up good. It's looking nice. It would look a lot better if I wouldn't have clipped this side. This part would have had a whole new set of leaves. So this one's going slow, but it'll get there. But let's go on to the next. Alright, now we're to the Marglobes tomatoes. Now this thing has shown some growth. Last time I showed you this, it was up to this top frame right here. The first frame, it was just coming up. After 2 weeks, boom. Not only did it pass the first, it's already passed the second one, and it's just peeking over the top of this second ring, which is a good foot away. So it's grown a foot and a little bit more in the 2 weeks that I haven't done anything. Now we've had some wind this past week that really messed up my plant. As you can see here, this piece is dying because it broke at the stem because the wind was too hard. I'm gonna go ahead and pluck that, because what this is doing is this is just taking energy from my tomato plant, because it's, you know, it's trying to keep it alive, but it's not really helping it. It'll do better giving that energy to all these other plants and blooming at the top. There's a lot of fresh growth up here. It's looking real nice, but it is looking really, really, really good. And then there's, sadly, some more little bobos. But as far as that weather, man, this thing is, it's down here, the stem is actually looks like it's turning wooden, which is great. So it's becoming super duper strong. But like I said, in 2 weeks it grew from being little baby to boom, nice little thing. I really don't know if it goes up to this ring. I don't know, because I know it's more of a bush plant rather than a growing tall plant. But I mean, as you can see, just judging by hand for scale, it's gotten a lot bigger. So I'm definitely expecting a lot of good to come out of the tomato plant, and I can't wait to show y'all in the next 2 weeks what happens to this, because I'm sure it's going to be crazy. Oh my goodness, look what has happened to my corn. It is becoming a grown man. It's gotten very big. It was probably up to here. The stalks were maybe that tall last time I seen it. Now I put a thing here because, like I said, the wind was blowing really, really hard, and it was messing. All of my corn was pushed over to one side. I had to really pack it back down into the soil because it was just getting torn up. And I don't know why, but that wind just destroyed it. So see, look, one right here is all booped up and he's all weak. You know, I'm probably gonna have to end up sacrificing some of the smaller ones just so that the rest can grow better, because this one is small. Look at this, how much stunted this one got. This one's growth was stunted so much by that wind. It's super thin, that compared to this one whose root is fairly thick. So I might end up pulling this one. I'll just pull him. I'm sorry, little dude. I didn't mean to do that. Man, breaks my heart to do that. But, I mean, look at it compared to, you know, which one do I mean, it's hard to tell on film, kind of, but there's an obvious difference on which one is taking the lead on what. I mean, even over here, you can tell that this one, and especially leaf size, look how much fatter that one's leaf is on the right. His leaf is huge compared to old boy here, sad. But I put this up just for now. Once it grows taller, it'll be able to support itself very easily. So I'll be taking this metal piece off once it grows a little more. But I mean, it's off to a pretty good start. I mean, it's way bigger. They're way bigger than they were before. In fact, last time I showed you, you really couldn't even tell that there was any vegetables in that pot. Now you can see clearly that everything's growing pretty tall next to that. But boom, 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 shitty. Sorry about that, banana pepper. So I mean, this is my my rosemary again. You know, it hasn't gotten too much bigger, but I mean, it definitely has gotten a bit wider. It's gotten a little bit taller. My dill actually looks like it got plucked up a lot. If you, well, like I said, watched the video from 2 weeks ago, it was not this luscious. Now there's a ton growing out. Also, if you look at my onion plants, all the tips of my onion plants in my last video had brown tips. Now the tips are green now, so this is good. This means that everything's going, everything's living. Little dirty old thing. Get that out of there. But everything's going great. I mean, the onions are definitely showing some progress. Jangles likes them. He's a boy. If you playing in my stop. Okay, that's enough. You need to get out of there. You an asshole, man. But anyway, you can see it's looking good. This one's still got a little bit of crust on the tip. Oh, I pulled it off. But this is the herbs. They're doing great. Still growing like usual. Here's my cilantro. Man, this thing is just kind of out of control. I don't think I've been maintaining it as far as plugging it, because I mean, I don't really need to eat it that often, but man, it's just such a big bundle. I kind of feel like I need a, like, it's so much that I just need to pluck some just to get it to, because this is the new growth right here. You can tell the little bitty ones, once they get, you know, this big, like this is too big. This is too big to grow anymore. It can't even support itself. You got to cut it when it gets this big. You got to cut it so that these little guys can have their turn. They want to get real big too, but these big ones are taking up all the room. So I'm gonna have to come in here and trim this, cut it down. I don't want to cut too many, but let's see how. I'll go ahead and harvest some. Hold on. All right, so this stuff grows pretty much like weeds. So let's see. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I cut too much, because I've got so much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come down. You know. Cut about this much off, you see. I don't know, you know, I don't know if you're supposed to cut the tips off. We'll find out. You know, if I cut all this stuff off and I end up having a dead parsley bush, you know, we'll figure that out together. If I'm doing it wrong or not. So I'm just gonna trim some of these, and then I'll get back and I'll show you what it looks like after I've clipped all the goods. Okay, so this is all of it that I've harvested. This is all the parsley, and this is what's left. So all the little ones I kept. You know, they're not as big as these ones, as you can tell. That's a big old leaf. This is little baby leaves. So what I kind of did was, if you look down here, Oops, get that leaf out of the way. Right here where my finger is. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but that is new life starting down there at the root. So what I did was, see this little piece right here that's been cut off the top? I pretty much cut everything as close down to the new growth as I could, because that's going to come out and be a whole new stem, and I don't want to just have a bunch of stems all over the place. Like, this stem's too long. I should have cut this stem closer down here by the new growth, like I said. So my goal right now is just to, you know, keep it, I don't want to have things like this. I want to cut it down, keep it trimmed up. So when you're harvesting, just keep it like that. Clip them things all the way down. And look, you can see new growth right there too. That one has new growth. That one right here has new growth. This one right here, you can see the new growth starting. See if I can get a close up. Probably not. Tried. But anyway, so that's just a little parsley. Boom, and here's my onions in the pot with the experimental pot. Pretty much all of them have lost all the brown on the tips, like I said on the other onions, and they're doing pretty good. So that's still just being experimented on them. We'll see if they start growing and see what happens. One thing I forgot to mention was I actually bought a strawberry plant, and I had the strawberry plant when I planted the other stuff, but it sits over here by my fence, and I don't really, you know, I don't think about it too often. Only when I'm coming to and from work, I'll take a look and I'll see, oh snap, my strawberries are growing. So as you could see, they're getting there. You know, sometimes I see bugs eating on these leaves like this. Like, I'll come at nighttime, and at nighttime, if you come and check your plants, you want to, because you'll see bugs on them. It lets you know what kind of bugs are eating on your stuff. I had a June bug eating on my thing, and I was like, oh, what the heck? I flicked them off real quick. So when you have a strawberry plant, you want to just be, you know, take a look at it. I think I have a bug problem or some kind of problem, because I always have a little black spot on my strawberry, little dark spots. I mean, I bought this already growing, so it's not like I'm still kind of waiting for them to start growing, because they're not even peaking yet. They're just barely growing a little couple berries. So I'll like pick these berries. Oops, dropped it, but that's okay. And you know, sometimes I'll pre-pick these berries like this, even with the white on them, because when you pick the berries like that, it when they get ripe, the bugs want to eat them, and you don't want the bugs to eat the ripe strawberry. You want to pick them like this. Well, I want to pick them like this, I should say, because they'll ripen in the house, they'll turn completely red, they'll get juicy, but they won't get eaten when they're nice and ripe and juicy. A bug's not going to come up and be like, oh man, I want to eat that. But now that I said that, damn it, I keep dropping this damn little berry. I got the perfect strawberry right here. Look at this thing. It's juicy all the way around, and that thing's going to turn red eventually, and it's going to be super tasty. But got a little berry here, some berries. Let's see, any more berries? Oh, there's one right there. The way these things sprout is they'll get the flower like this, it'll get pollinated, and then once it pollinates, it sprouts out a little bitty berry like this. And then look, you can see right there, and it'll just start growing, and then you'll get some strawberries. So this one got a little black on it, but you know, sometimes you gotta eat that little black. So let's try it. I mean, should I wash it off? I don't know, it's my garden. Looks a little dirty, but God made dirt. Ooh, it's sour. Ooh, that's sour. I'm hoping that when the summer really starts kicking off, because it hasn't kicked off yet at all. I mean, it's still hardly even spring. So I'm hoping that within the next couple of weeks, that thing will be bumping full of berries, sweet and juicy and tasty. But I mean, until then, only time can tell. We're all in this together, y'all watching the videos. I hope y'all stick and watch all of them, just so you can know what to do, what not to do, how I messed up, and how to stop you from messing up, because you don't want them sour berries.